when can Africans refuse to be mistreated like this? To be told they have no value, to be told that their lives have to be lived as a result of a favor they are being done by somebody else.
They are threatened by African unity, because the unity of African people will mean they are equal to China, they are equal to India, they are equal to Russia, they are equal to Britain. We are an organization that wants to unify the whole of Africa, have one currency, have one parliament, have one president, and have one military.
And sisters, I really hope you're all doing fine. Now, this time round, Africa is very unapologetic to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Africa is also very unapologetic to the Western countries which have looted Africa to its knees. It is time for black people to come together and try and make Africa great again. They have been talking about making their countries great. We are very unapologetic to whatever we are doing at the moment. The unity of Africa is much a bigger threat to the US and the Western countries. And we say we are very unapologetic. We are not going to back down this time round. So let's watch this video, then have a really quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
Yes, you know, the EFF advocates for one Africa, where movements of goods and individuals is free and we can trade with one another. One of the things we need to do is to revive the African economy to avoid this pettiness that we are being subjected to. Because in the absence of industrialized continent, our brothers and sisters are always going to look for greener pastures. That's how, by the way, we arrived here. There's no one here seated here who can claim that their ancestors didn't arrive here looking for greener pastures. They were moving from the north to the south. And their survival was what we used to call hunter-gatherer fisher. So it's hunting, it's gathering, and it's fishing. So they always look for a green land. And next to it, there must be water because there must be fishing. But not only for fishing, this livestock that we go around with, it must have a river where it can drink water from, beautiful land where it can graze. It can never be with our generation that advocates for decoloniality, then say Africans are not free to move in their own continent. Show me in any policy of the EFF where I say Africans must not have documents. The reason why you are not catching these Mozambicans who are stealing cars is because of that gate. But once we all belong to one continent, everybody will be having a passport of that continent. Everyone. Which means you can be located somewhere. We'll find you. Everybody. So what is your problem? And there is some level of madness, Prof, where we've got a gate called a border. It's a gate. But there's no fence. Just imagine a person going to his house. He has installed a gate. And there's no fence. He opens that gate and close it, and not just close it, lock it. There's no fence. No, anyone who says there is a fence is lying. There's no fence. These are artificial. So we need to industrialize. We need to electrify the whole continent. We can get ESCOM to electrify the whole continent. And the whole continent pays us for electricity. Because ESCOM has got the necessary capacity to can electrify the whole continent. Don't tell me about these man-made problems, which can be resolved by capacity only. So you have to now use the minerals of the continent in the continent. So if we are good with giving them electricity, another country will be good at giving us this. And then imagine us alone, Prof, with Zimbabwe. We account for not less than 85% of the platinum. Then the next biggest country who has platinum is Russia. So if we bring Russia, then we are now at 90% owners of platinum. Why can't we decide the price of platinum? Because we're the owners of platinum. It can only be done if the continent is together. DRC is in crisis today, and it will never be resolved because of its minerals. Those people destabilizes that country so that they can take the minerals in that country without paying taxes because there is no proper government. People go into a forest and build a landing strip. There's no one who controls the airspace there. They just go in, zoom, collect whatever they collect and leave. When we say one continent, all of that, those are the people who get threatened that no, what's going to happen to this thing that we're doing? So, as students of decoloniality, you should know how the borders came about. And you can't say you don't support apartheid and colonialism and support the things that made us to be divided the way we are. So they always say, no, I can't vote for EFF. Why? Because of the borders. Then I normally ask them the question, who made the borders? It's the EFF now that has made the borders. It's not EFF that made the borders. Why are you accusing us of the things we have not? There were no borders. And all of us must advocate for that. This thing that when people are hungry, they are going to leave their countries and come here is not true. I come from a poverty-stricken province of Limpopo. There is no fence. My people stay there. They never came here to come and cause trouble for you. Yet there is no fence, and yet they are poor. They don't have water and electricity in almost, just from Hammanskraal going down. Hammanskraal people never moved from Hammanskraal to come to Sandton because there is water there. So this is unscientific. This is based on pure hatred of self. It's a pure self-hatred which has got no...
Instead of giving up and you let people treat you as if for you to live, it's a favor that they are going to do for you. Why? I've also had people come to me and warn me and say, President, you know you are too vocal, you say things that challenge these people who have the power in their hands and they're going to kill you. Well, first of all, it means they're killers. But my answer to them is, you know what? If I were to be there to just accept these things to happen, I don't think I would count myself as living anyway. It's like I would already be dead. To live a life of lies, of pretense, and all my life to somebody else, I would be dead anyway. So why don't I die fighting? So you Rwandans, why don't you die fighting? Instead of dying anyway, just dying like flies. Why? But my message goes to other Africans who live like this on a daily basis, who are dehumanized. And they accept it and they beg. I can't beg to live. I can't beg anybody. We will fight. If I lose, I lose. But there is a chance. There is a chance, a significant chance, that if you stand up and fight, you will live. And you will have lived a dignified life that you deserve, that anybody else deserves. So these people who are there to the UN, they are there to these Western capitals, they are everywhere, they are just saying, Rwanda, this small country, this Rwanda. I mean, you see, when you are talking about Rwanda and ganging up together against Rwanda, you think it's some country that is, I don't know. Then when I remember the facts about it, I just imagine the world has gone amok. But in the midst of all that, we have to live. We have to live our lives, we have to fight for that, we have to live the way we want. And I tell anybody to his face to go to hell. If anyone comes around and thinks they can, they come and say, hey, we're going to sanction you. To what? Go to hell. Just go to hell. You have your own issues to deal with. Go and deal with your own issues. Leave me to mine. This is the spirit, I think, Rwandans must have in their daily lives. So my worry is not about how powerful these people are that come down upon us and throw anything at us. I'm never worried about that. I worry about one thing, which has lived on for centuries. It's for Rwandans. It's for Africans who sit back and find nothing wrong with accepting to be treated like that. That's my only worry.
Command. Because the reason we're fragmented like this and we're defeated is because the enemy enjoys and thrives when we're divided. We are not a regional organization. We are an international organization. When we go everywhere in the continent, the people come out in their numbers to come and receive the message of the EFF because we're an international organization. That's why when we sing Nkosi Sikelele Africa, there where we say Morena Boloka, you say South Africa, and we insist, yes, now we insist Africa. There's no South Africa in Nkosi Sikelel that we see. There's Africa. Because there is no place called South Africa. South Africa is a geographical concept which seeks to give you direction. It's not a name of a place. We are in Africa. So once you say Africa, you don't have to add anything before. You have covered everything, including this side of the south of Africa. Because we're an international organization. That's why the logo of the EFF has got no South African map. It has got African map. Because we're an organization that wants to unify the whole of Africa, have one currency, have one parliament, have one president, and have one military command. Because the reason we're fragmented like this and we're defeated is because the enemy enjoys and thrives when we're divided. They say to you, he says, remove borders. Why is he saying remove borders? He wants these people to come here. He wants these people to come here. There are no borders in Europe. The people who said to you, why do you want to remove borders? They don't have borders themselves. And we have not seen, because of borderless Europe, we have not seen the people of Italy moving to Britain. Because the pound is stronger, let's go to Britain than the euro. No. They've always stayed where they are. But they can eat breakfast in Italy and have lunch in Britain and have dinner in Spain without any hassle. Why? They are one people. They are enjoying each other. They embrace one another. But we must not do that. Once we do that, Malema says people must come here. They are going to take your jobs and all of that. Why are you allowing that? This Malema must be stopped. It's not true. In Lesotho, there is no fence between Free State and Lesotho. The people of Lesotho, what is the day today? Sunday. They are in Free State now as we speak. Around 5, 6. Bazopinda. Go back to Lesotho. There's no problem. They are together. They are one thing. So why didn't they move from Lesotho into Free State before even Malema existed and the EFF existed? Because there's never been a fence. There's no fence. Mashaba showed you. He went to Limpopo and said, yeah, look, there's no fence here between Zimbabwe and Limpopo. But when you go into Zimbabwe, there are still people there in Zimbabwe. They are staying there. Yet Mashaba confirmed there is no fence. And without fence, these people are going to come here. Malema says they must come here. There is no fence. Why are they not coming now? There is no fence. I said to you, mark that, we are led by fools. Because there is no fence, but there is a gate. We are led by fools. There is no fence, but there is a gate. When you go home today, you arrive at your home from this meeting, you just find the fence is gone. Only the gate is standing alone like this. And then, what do? Without fence, you still open the gate to. Hey, we're in a state of madness. Why, if these borders mean nothing, why are they opposed to them? They are threatened by African unity. Because the unity of African people will mean they are equal to China, they are equal to India, they are equal to Russia, they are equal to Britain. How can Swaziland tell Britain anything with that size of a population? They won't listen to them. But once we come together, we are billions of people who can confront the status quo globally. So, don't listen to the nonsense that says, these people are going to come here, they are going to take our jobs and all of that. Anyway, these people have been here. The economy of South Africa that was established by Rhodes, Cecil John Rhodes, established the economy and the economic system of South Africa using Southern Africa. There's no nation that has not contributed in the gold and diamonds which made what South Africa is today. That's why there is a language called Fanaka Law. That language did not come from the EFF. We found it. Why? Africans found themselves together and had to develop a language which will make it easy for them to communicate as colleagues. They've been here. So there's no one, and they've never been here with their families. They are here to work, and then when they are off, they go back to their families. No one will ever overburden your health system because these people are not here. They are searching for greener pastures. They are going back. If you follow the logic that says people move to areas where there is richness and that area is more richer than where you come from, then let's look at Limpopo. Limpopo is extremely poor compared to Gauteng. There is no border between Limpopo and Gauteng. There is no fence. But the people of Limpopo never moved from Limpopo to go and settle in Gauteng because Gauteng is more richer than Limpopo. So if this logic that Nigerians are going to move from Nigeria to here because they are looking for the richness here, why are the people of Limpopo not being the first ones to move into Gauteng to go and look for those richness? So do not follow the logic that doesn't work, because its aim is to keep us divided.
Only 4 replied. That is the state of the continent of Africa. We must deal with the basic things. We must solve conflict. We must change our governance. Because if we don't deal with the question of governance, we are going nowhere. Africa has become a continent where after every election there is conflict. Because the pursuit of power is a cutthroat competition where throats are actually cut. And when the SMO was here and he consulted the oracles, he discovered that we have a problem in that direction. And that the sooner we resolve that, the safer we will be. Africa can rise and Africa will rise. But it's not going to rise by prayer and fasting. We must pray and fast, but it will not happen. Because the last time I checked, even those of you are believers, when Abraham was taken from Ur of the Chaldeans and given Canaan, it was not on a silver platter. He had to fight the Canaanites. He had to fight the Philistines. That is the nature of divine instruction. Go ye and subdue the world by the sweat of thy brow. The kitchen where they make manna was closed. Manna will no longer come. Because you must now make your manna. And it is our duty, therefore, as Africans to begin to rethink the younger generation. You know, there is a saying in Chichewa in Malawi that more precious than our children are our children's children. So when we are doing these things, we must remind ourselves that we are doing for this generation and generations yet to be born. The new scramble for Africa is a little bit more different. It is not
They will allow us to have our leaders. We'll elect our presidents. We'll elect our governors. We'll have our ministers. That will happen, but they are not bothered. After we have elected them, you'll then see them sending their arrows.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Now, the African continent is so unapologetic to the US and the Western countries. It is so sad to see how the US has been trying to harass black countries. And it is not only the US. This was happening, that they tried to exploit Africa, and they managed to do that. And when vibrant leaders rose in Africa, they were silenced. And some of them were silenced in the worst way possible. I mean, they were being eliminated. Now, it is time for us to stand as black folks. It is time for us to stand as the African continent. We should not accept intimidations, because it is intimidations that has made us suffer these things that are happening in the motherland. Now, look at the situation in Congo. People are fighting in Congo just because the gold in Congo is more wanted by the Western countries. People are fighting in Congo because the coal in Congo is whatever has been propelling their industries. It is whatever has been trying to help them during winters and all these other seasons, and you know all that stuff, right? It is Congo, the minerals in Congo that are running the Belgium economy and the US economy, and most of the France. Now, it is so sad because they do not have mineral deposits in their countries, but they have the largest mineral reserves. They have the largest gold reserves in London and in France, in Paris. And you ask yourself, the minerals of Africa have not benefited the people in Africa, right? This is why they have always caused chaos in the countries where are rich in minerals. And it is time that the youths in Africa should rise. It is time for the people in Africa should be educated on the importance of all these minerals in their countries, all these things that are found in their countries. It is time we should realize that we Africans are very rich. It is the fact that we've been manipulated to believe that Africa is poor. Africa is not poor. There is so much that can be found in Africa. And this is why they have been causing chaos. And this is why they have always had an interest in whatever is happening in Africa. How many times have they sent their agents to come and oversee elections in Africa? And you still believe they want a fair, free and fair elections in Africa? No. They send their people to come and oversee elections in Africa to make sure their puppets have a way to ascend to power. This is why we have to change the narrative in Africa. We have to change the narrative in the motherland, because things have been happening so crazy. And if at all we have leaders who start talking about this, and leaders who start preaching about unity in Africa, they have always come for them. Now, look whatever happened to Gaddafi. I know Gaddafi could have made errors, yes, but he stood for the unity of black people. He wanted a united Africa. He wanted an African continent where we have one president, with one government, with one currency, a borderless Africa. And the biggest threat to the US and the Western countries is when we talk of a borderless Africa, is when we talk about one currency in Africa. Because if we had a single currency in 55 countries in Africa, imagine how strong that could be in the world. That every other countries will have wanted to trade with that currency, which will have taken place in Africa. There is need for us to talk about this, because this is whatever have made them so agitated, and they are so angry. at the fact that we still have leaders in Africa who are talking about the oneness of black people, the oneness of African continent, that we have leaders in Africa who are concerned about the diaspora, who want the diaspora back home. This is whatever they do not want to hear. And it is for that reason that they have been going around profiling leaders who have been talking about unity as international criminals. Now, the latest move was to silence Julius Malema of South Africa. I know Julius Malema might have said things that are not okay, right? But when he talks about the unity of black people, when he talks about making Africa free, and the only way of freeing Africa is to make Africa borderless. The only way of freeing Africa from the colonial mindset is making sure that Africa have a single president, and we remove their military bases in Africa. This is whatever has made Elon Musk and the likes of Donald Trump to call him an international criminal, and that his visa should be stripped off from going to the European countries and the US. If this is the case, right? Now, I will challenge them to consider the whole African population to be international criminals, because a time is coming when all black folks are going to unite. A time is coming when all the black people around the world will unite. And a time is coming when Africa will actually go to be borderless. Someone might not see that at the moment, because we are still rooted in the colonial mindset. We are still thinking the same way the white man left us. Now, if at all Africa was not important, if at all black people are not important, why are they so concerned about the business of Africa? Why are they so much concerned about the affairs of this continent and the affairs of black people? Now, it is time we should realize that black people really matter, right? And that's why they are very much concerned when we are not doing whatever they want. They are much concerned when they do not get puppet leaders in Africa. They are much concerned when we try to unite ourselves, because they know if we unite ourselves, they are done, completely done in Africa. Imagine the US without Africa. Imagine the Western countries without Africa. They will be third world countries for sure. The labor that they get from black people, the resources, the mineral resources they have been exploiting from Africa, and the way they continue doing that for a long time, even in the first century, is very crazy. Now, if at all we could unite ourselves, if at all we, the people in Africa, can come together and have a one system that is working for all of us, and actually get away from the languages they tried to bring in Africa. Try talk Swahili and try actually make Africa great. It is time we should consider making Africa great, because the greatness of this continent was taken down by the white man. They came in Africa wearing a robe, calling himself a priest or a missionary, whatever, carrying a Bible in his right hand. And with that weapon, they managed to loot Africa. They managed to brainwash black people. And for that, we actually even went ahead to fight their wars when they could not defend themselves in 1945 during the World War II. They came in Africa, took our strong men who went there, died in their fields, fighting for them. Others who could not manage to come back home, they were turned into slaves. So this is a wake-up call for all of us black brothers and sisters, that there is need for us to unite. And I'm very grateful we have leaders in Africa who have been talking the truth. We are very unapologetic to Emmanuel Macron, very unapologetic to Donald Trump, and very unapologetic to the Western countries. They have looted Africa to its knees. They have manipulated black people. They have done all they could. So it is our time to act, to take actions. The only way we are going to get ourselves to the topmost level is first by acknowledging that Africa has been looted to its knees. it is acknowledging that the division in Africa is whatever has made us poor. It is whatever has made us the way we are. Africa is not poor. It is the mindset of Africans which is very poor. And the only way we can get ourselves from this stage to the next level is first by saying no to the white man, is first by acknowledging that we really made a mistake by dividing ourselves. The division that exists in Africa, 55 countries in Africa, over 1,200 languages in Africa, that should be concerning. You get to Africa, you get 55 currency, you must have 55 visas to travel across Africa. It's very crazy, right? So there is need for us all to come together and invest in the motherland, to come together and unite the motherland. This is the only place where we accept it. If we are not going to work it out, we are done and we are doomed. And I'm out.